The Chiefs and the Jaguars coming up on Monday Night Football in Week 5. Dan Orlovsky of ESPN, NFL Live, First Take, Pat McAfee, Get Up, Sports Center. Uh, and we got so many I didn't even list, Dan. Thanks for
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
this show. How are you?
yeah. I'm doing great. There's it's a long list, but I'm very grateful that I get to do it. I truly, truly, truly love it, and certainly, very excited to get down there for your guys' game. It should be, I guess in some people's eyes, unexpected that one team's sitting at 3-1 and the other one is at 2-2. But it should be a really, really good game.
Dan, what's your initial impressions of this yet another new era of Jaguars football leadership with Liam Cohen as the head coach, a young GM, Baselli's involved? It's a new
Yeah.
vibe here. What's the view from the outside looking in?
Yeah, no more fluff. This isn't a 7-on-7 football team anymore, and I think that's the thing that has popped in the first 4 weeks is it's a physical group. It's a smash mouth offense or can be. They the watching this offensive line, it's really watched them for years, and certainly since Trevor's gotten there, I haven't seen this group be as physical, as violent off the football, as fire off the football as they are right now. And the ability and willingness that they have now to run the football makes a massive, massive, massive difference. Not only the commitment to try, but then the ability and commitment to do is big time. I also would say watching the skill people block has been surprising. You can't run the football well unless it's all 11, but you got to give your credit where it's due that group has been really good, and obviously two very good backs. And then watching the defense, and I didn't really know a ton about Anthony, and I knew where he came from and the people that he had crossed paths with, but watching the defense, I mean, my notes are, woof, they fly around. Wow, they set an edge. They punch at the ball every chance they can get. Their second level is very violent, and so I know that word is taboo in the NFL era now, but it's a very different tape to watch. It's I guess the best way for me to describe it is they are no longer catching in general, but they are attacking on a consistent basis.
Dan Orlovsky, ESPN, with us. Let's touch on this offense now with Liam Cohen and Grant Udinski's the offensive coordinator, and now Trevor Lawrence in his third different offense in the NFL. You mentioned it; they're run heavy. I think that surprised maybe a lot of people at first. A lot of fans might have thought they would throw it. No, it's Liam Cohen's running the ball. But when Trevor does have the opportunity to throw it, we haven't seen a lot downfield yet for this offense. What's the next
Yeah.
step for Trevor, and how does he settle into yet another offense? And what are some characteristics of Cohen's attack here?
Yeah, so I would say for Trevor, I think the timing and the connection with BTJ, started off like, not great the first week or two. And then those last 2 weeks, better and better and better. And so that's a huge deal because I would tell you the thing pass game wise that does, at least of his past, stand out about Liam is there was always that receiver that they would run their offense through. Certainly Mike Evans being that guy in Tampa Bay, and they would run their pass game through him in many ways. You get him one-on-one, we want to throw him the ball. You don't, we want to have options and or people opposite that. So the past 2 weeks, I feel really encouraged just with that connection. I think the second thing is my whole thing with Trevor has always been he's so ridiculously talented. I always wanted him to play quarterback, almost like a boxer in the 12th round of a heavyweight fight. Just come out and swing. And obviously you play under control and you make good decisions, but just come out in attack mode. And I've always said, like, if you just watch him and when he throws the football, does his body like almost stay back or does he try to drive through every throw? And again, I would say in the past couple of weeks, it feels like everyone is this haymaker that he's trying to land. I don't care if it's a 20-yard ball or a 5-yard ball. And so I'm very encouraged by that. I've always believed that Trevor's had this ridiculous talent, and I just want I want him to just go play to his capability. I think the next step is, he's got a great connection with Strange. That's really good. Their screen game is getting better and better. That's something that's always been a part of Liam's offense. The play action game is that's probably that next step. They're running it so well. They've got such creativity in their run game, diversity in their run game. The play action game to help with some of those chunk throws. I think their under center drop back game for completions. Not a lot of teams in the NFL doing that. I think you should. I love it. And so I'm encouraged with the past couple of weeks by his performance, but again, also this whole offense.
Dan, are you intrigued by the Travis Hunter situation? And obviously the statistics aren't quite there yet. They're trying to work through, workload and all these things with him, but he seems like everything they want off the field here as well.
Yeah. Yes, intrigued. I'm not in any way disappointed. You know what? I was one of those people, I didn't think he was going to play both ways every snap week one. It's a long season, and for a team that's sitting at 3-1, and now maybe I'm sure externally expectations have risen, and I don't know what they were internally, but you're like, okay, this team might be playing 18, 19 games. And so it's a long year. And I think, when you see the pass game, and again, BTJ's, and then Parker's had some moments strange. And so you're trying to figure out his impact in their pass game. And I have very little doubt. You see the skill that they've gotten him the ball a couple times. You saw the fully extended catch. And so they'll, I think, periodically move him in as this season goes on, and he'll be more impactful at that position as this season goes on. The defensive stats and, snaps and whatnot, I think is going to be along the same lines. That defense is playing at a pretty high level right now to begin with. And so I know this, I've talked to people and they rave about, the kid, unsurprisingly. And I think when you have that and his talent, it's just going to continue to grow.
He loves football. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Dan Orlovsky, ESPN with us. Let's finish with the Chiefs here. They started 0-2, and a lot of people were digging the grave for the dynasty. Hold the phone there. They're 2-2. They're still the Chiefs. They are the dynasty of record in the AFC and in the NFL right now. So what's changed with the Chiefs after the first 2 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, schematically, there's been alterations, and that's probably the thing. There was two teams really that piqued my interest as far as what they did offensively that was different this past week. The Chiefs were one of them. I am of the belief right now in the NFL that we're a little bit back in time. I really believe offensively, you have to be willing to put the quarterback under center 15 to 20 times a game. You got to put bigger bodies on the field. You got to run teams out of the defense that they want to play in. It's not 2019 anymore. And they really hadn't done that the first 3 weeks. And then this past week, they did. I mean, Patrick was underneath the center, 17 snaps this past weekend. And their run game wasn't dominant, and I don't think it's going to be, but it was efficient. And I think that's the thing that stood out, and that'll be the challenge is like, they put a sixth offensive lineman on the field this past weekend. That's a little bit of a wave in the NFL. And so is that continuing to be a part of their identity? Because I do think it allows them to be efficient. I think it helps their offensive line. Obviously, Xavier Worthy coming back is a big deal because not only the opportunity to throw the ball downfield, but he's also a touches guy to go get 8, to go get 12, to go get 20 with a jet sweep or a screen or a reverse and something like that. And so much different offensive philosophy this past week. I hope for their case, it's part of who they're going to be moving forward. We'll find out on Monday night if, again, they do it 2 weeks in a row. But I was very pleased with seeing that out of that group.
What about defensively? When you get in 3rd and long against this group, I mean, against any group, but certainly with this coordinator and the way they play defense, how do you attack it?
Yeah, I think early downs, you have to be ready for pressure at all times. Crazy pressures. It's not just, hey, 3rd and 8. Like they'll bring an all out pressure on first down. So every single down, I think that's going to be the challenge for Liam and Trevor. Every down has got to be you're on a 10 awareness wise, because it can come at any point. You got to have that answer. And then the second thing is to really have success against this offense, defense, if you want to be aggressive on early downs, you got to get in some type of bunch or shrunk down formation to force communication. They've struggled with that at times. And then I think you got to try and throw on their backers. Their secondary is playing kind of the way that they have over the past couple of years. Backers are a good group, but I think you can have success if you got pass catching backs or a tight end that's a matchup problem strange. And again, some of the usage of their two back sets. So it's a very good unit. But you got to be ready for the all out or unique pressure at any time. That'll be a huge factor that determines how well they play.
All hands on deck for the Jags. They haven't beaten the Chiefs since 2009. We'll see if it happens on Monday night under the lights here at the bank. Dan Orlovsky, great to visit with you. Keep up the great work, man. Appreciate
I
it.
appreciate you. Good luck, man. Thank you.